Elizabeth, children, I know this is difficult so soon after the funeral, but Richard's instructions were very specific. The will must be read exactly 7 days after his death.
Just get on with it, Thomas. We all need to know where we stand.
Mom's right. Dad wouldn't want us sitting around feeling sorry for ourselves. He'd want us to handle business.
This feels wrong, talking about money when Dad's been dead less than a week. We should be grieving, not dividing up his empire.
Sophia's got a point. What's the rush, Thomas? Dad's not going anywhere.
Your father was very insistent about the timing. He said, and I quote, 7 days after my death, not 1 day more. He also left this separate envelope with specific instructions that it only be opened during the will reading.
I've never seen that before. Richard didn't mention any special letter to me.
Dad was always full of surprises. Open it, Thomas.
Actually, Richard's instructions say Elizabeth should open it herself, after I've read the basic will provisions.
This is getting weird. Why all the secrecy? Dad was straightforward about everything else.
Maybe he wanted to say goodbye privately. Some final words for the family.
Let me read the will first. I, Richard James Hartwell, being of sound mind and body. The basics are straightforward. Elizabeth inherits the primary estate and 51% controlling interest in Hartwell Industries. Alex, as the eldest son, receives 30%. Sophia and Marcus each receive 9.5%.
That means Mom and I control the company. That makes sense from a business perspective.
What about the charitable foundations? Dad was always talking about giving back to the community.
There are provisions for various charities, but they're contingent on certain conditions being met.
What kind of conditions? Richard never mentioned conditions to me.
The conditions are explained in the sealed letter. Elizabeth, would you like to open it now?
There's a key in here. And, oh my God.
Mom, what does it say?
My beloved family, if you are reading this, it means I am dead. But I need you to know the truth about how I died, and more importantly, what I did to build our fortune. The key opens a safety deposit box at First National Bank. Box 1247. Inside, you will find documents that will change everything you thought you knew about me and about Hartwell Industries.
Dad's just being dramatic. He always had a flair for theatrics.
Let Mom finish reading, Alex.
I did not kill myself. If my death appears to be suicide, it is murder. Vincent Morrison has been blackmailing me for 15 years about crimes we committed together in the early days of the company. When I decided to come clean and confess everything, he threatened to kill me and frame it as suicide. If you are reading this, he has succeeded.
This is insane. Dad didn't commit any crimes. He was a respected businessman.
Elizabeth, I think we should discuss this privately. Children, perhaps you should.
No. If this involves the family business, we all need to hear it. Keep reading, Mom.
The documents in the safety deposit box will show you everything. Environmental violations, bribery, cover-ups of industrial accidents, falsified safety reports. People died because of what Vincent and I did. I can't live with the guilt anymore, but Vincent will never let me confess. He has too much to lose.
Environmental violations. Dad's company has awards for environmental responsibility.
Elizabeth, my darling wife, you must decide what to do with this information. The money we built our life on is blood money. But if you expose the truth, Vincent will destroy our children to protect himself. Alex is already involved in some of the cover-ups, though he doesn't know the full scope. Sophia's journalism career could be ruined if she's connected to corporate corruption. Marcus's law career would be over before it starts.
What does he mean I'm involved in cover-ups? I run legitimate operations.
Elizabeth, I strongly advise we stop here and discuss this with proper legal counsel present.
The choice is yours, my love. Protect our children's future by staying silent, or protect your soul by telling the truth. I chose truth, and it cost me my life. Whatever you decide, know that I love you all more than the empire I built on lies. The key will unlock more than just a safety deposit box. It will unlock the truth about who Richard Hartwell really was.
We have to go to the police. If Dad was murdered.
We're not doing anything until we know exactly what we're dealing with. Thomas, you knew Dad better than anyone. Is any of this possible?
Alex, there were always aspects of your father's business dealings that he kept private, even from me.
That's not a no, Thomas.
We're going to that bank. Right now. All of us. We need to know the truth before we decide anything.
Chen, we got an anonymous tip about the Hartwell suicide. Someone thinks it wasn't suicide at all.
Richard Hartwell, the businessman who killed himself last week. What makes someone think it was murder?
Anonymous caller claimed Hartwell was about to expose corporate corruption involving environmental crimes. Said someone killed him to keep him quiet.
Anonymous tips are usually cranks. What makes this one worth our time?
The caller knew details about Hartwell's business that weren't public. Mentioned specific companies, dates, even some internal code names. This person had inside information.
Did you trace the call?
Burner phone. Bought with cash, disposed of immediately after the call. But here's the interesting part, the caller mentioned Vincent Morrison specifically.
Morrison. I know that name. He's been on our radar for years, but we've never been able to make anything stick. White-collar crimes, suspected environmental violations, but always just out of reach.
The caller said Morrison and Hartwell were partners in covering up industrial accidents that killed people. Said Hartwell grew a conscience and Morrison killed him for it.
That's a serious accusation. What's our evidence situation?
That's the problem. Hartwell's death scene was clean. Perfect suicide setup. Gun registered to him, powder residue on his hands, no signs of struggle. If it was murder, it was professional.
But you're not convinced it was suicide.
Something felt off. Hartwell's business was thriving, family was stable, no financial problems, no health issues. Why kill himself now?
Maybe guilt over past actions. If he really was involved in covering up deaths.
Or maybe someone made sure he couldn't confess. Chen, if Morrison is involved, this could be bigger than just one murder.
What do you need from me?
FBI resources. If this is corporate conspiracy involving multiple murders and environmental crimes, it's federal jurisdiction. I can't investigate Morrison's business empire alone.
You're talking about opening a major investigation based on an anonymous tip. My supervisor will need more than suspicions.
I've been digging into Hartwell Industries' history. There are patterns. Industrial accidents that were covered up quickly, environmental violations that disappeared from public records, whistleblowers who suddenly withdrew their complaints.
That's still circumstantial. What about physical evidence?
I want to re-examine Hartwell's body. The autopsy was rushed because it seemed like an obvious suicide. But if we look closer,
You think we missed something?
I think someone wanted us to miss something. Chen, what if Hartwell left evidence behind? What if he knew he was going to be killed and prepared for it?
Like what?
Documents, recordings, proof of the crimes he was going to confess. If Morrison killed him to stop a confession, that evidence might still exist.
Where would Hartwell hide evidence that Morrison couldn't find?
That's what we need to figure out. But first, we need to watch the family. If Morrison killed Hartwell to keep him quiet, he might target the family if they start asking questions.
You think the family's in danger?
I think everyone who gets close to the truth about Hartwell and Morrison is in danger. The question is, does the family already know what they're dealing with?
Mom, I don't understand how Dad could have been involved in environmental crimes. His whole public persona was about corporate responsibility.
People aren't always what they appear to be, sweetheart. Your father. I'm learning that I didn't know him as well as I thought.
Mom, look at this. It was hidden inside Dad's copy of The Art of War. There are newspaper clippings in here about industrial accidents, environmental disasters. But they're all marked up in Dad's handwriting.
What kind of markings?
Notes about cover-up strategies, media manipulation, legal loopholes. Mom, it's like he was studying how to hide corporate crimes.
Or studying how other people hid crimes. Maybe he was investigating, not participating.
I want to believe that, but look at this. There's a handwritten note that says, Morrison's method, works every time. And it's dated 15 years ago, right when Hartwell Industries had its first major expansion.
Vincent Morrison. That name keeps coming up. Your father mentioned him in the letter.
Mom, as a journalist, I've investigated corporate corruption before. These notes, these clippings, this is research someone does when they're planning crimes, not exposing them.
What are you saying, Sophia?
I'm saying Dad's confession letter might be telling the truth. And if it is, our entire family fortune is built on crimes that killed people.
What are you doing?
Research. If Dad and Morrison really covered up environmental disasters, there will be records. Lawsuits that were dropped, investigations that went nowhere, families of victims who were paid off.
Sophia, we need to be careful. If your father was murdered for trying to expose the truth, we could be putting ourselves in danger.
Mom, I'm a journalist. This is what I do. And if our family money came from hurting people, don't we have an obligation to make it right?
We have an obligation to protect this family. Your father's last act was trying to protect all of you.
By staying silent about crimes? That's not protection, Mom. That's complicity. Hello.
Sophia Hartwell? This is someone who worked with your father. We need to talk.
Who is this? How did you get this number?
Your father left instructions that if anything happened to him, I should contact you. He said you were the only one in the family who would understand the importance of the truth.
Sophia, hang up. This could be dangerous.
What truth? What did my father want me to know?
Not over the phone. Meet me tomorrow at the Environmental Law Library at Georgetown. 2 o'clock. Come alone. And Miss Hartwell, be very careful who you trust. Your father discovered that someone in your family has been working with Morrison for years.
Someone in our family? That's impossible.
Is it, Mom? Think about it. How would Morrison know Dad was planning to confess unless someone told him?
You're talking about Alex or Marcus betraying their own father.
I'm talking about someone who had access to Dad's plans and the means to communicate with Morrison. Someone who would benefit from keeping the crimes covered up.
Sophia, you cannot meet this person. We don't know who they are or what they want.
Mom, what if this person has evidence that could prove Dad was murdered? What if they know who in our family betrayed him?
What if it's a trap? What if Morrison is using this person to get to us?
Then we'll never know the truth. And Dad's death will never be avenged.
Mr. Morrison, Mrs. Hartwell called. She wants to meet with you tomorrow morning. She said it was urgent and concerned Richard's final business arrangements.
Did she say what specific arrangements?
No, sir. But she sounded upset. Almost angry.
Angry. That's not good. Richard promised me his family would never know about our business arrangements.
Should I schedule the meeting?
Yes. But not here. Set it up at the warehouse on Industrial Drive. And make sure we have privacy.
The warehouse, sir? Wouldn't your office be more appropriate for a grieving widow?
Elizabeth Hartwell isn't just a grieving widow. She's Richard's heir, which means she now controls information that could destroy both our companies. It's Morrison. We have a problem. Elizabeth Hartwell wants to meet, and I think Richard left her more than just money.
How much does she know?
That's what I need to find out. But if Richard broke his promise and told her about our arrangements, we'll need to handle this permanently.
The same way we handled Richard?
If necessary. But first, I want to give her a chance to be reasonable. Elizabeth is a practical woman. She might choose to protect her family's fortune over pursuing some misguided sense of justice.
And if she doesn't choose to be practical?
Then she'll join her husband. But we need to be careful. Richard's death looked like suicide because he was isolated and depressed. Elizabeth's death would be harder to explain.
Unless it was an accident. Grieving widow, not paying attention to traffic, tragic end to a tragic story.
That could work. But only if we're certain she knows too much to be allowed to live. Cancel my appointments for tomorrow afternoon. After I meet with Elizabeth Hartwell, I may need to make some arrangements.
What kind of arrangements, sir?
The kind that ensure my business partnership with Richard Hartwell died with Richard Hartwell.
What were you trying to tell me, Richard?
Elizabeth, if you're hearing this, it means Vincent made good on his threat. I've been recording our conversations for months, ever since I told him I wanted out of our arrangement. The safety deposit box contains financial records, environmental reports we falsified, death certificates we covered up. But this recording contains something more important, proof that Vincent Morrison murdered 3 people to keep our crime secret.
3 people? Oh God, Richard, what did you do?
I was weak, Elizabeth. When our first factory had the chemical leak that killed those workers, Vincent convinced me that covering it up was better than destroying both our companies. He said we could help the families privately, pay them more than they'd get in lawsuits.
But it didn't stop there. Every time someone got close to the truth, Vincent had a solution. When the EPA investigator wouldn't take our bribes, Vincent arranged for his car accident. When the union leader threatened to expose the cover-up, Vincent made sure his heart attack looked natural. Richard, how could you let this happen?
I thought I could control it. I thought we could stop after the first cover-up. But Vincent enjoyed the power. He enjoyed having life and death control over people who threatened our business. Elizabeth, our son Alex knows about some of the environmental violations. I brought him into the company thinking I could protect him, but I've only made him complicit. Vincent has been grooming Alex to take over the illegal operations when I retire.
No. Alex wouldn't, he couldn't.
Alex doesn't know about the murders. He thinks we're just cutting corners on environmental regulations to save money. But Vincent is planning to tell him everything and make him a full partner in the conspiracy.
I've decided to confess everything to the FBI. I can't let Alex become a murderer like Vincent. I can't let our family fortune continue to be built on blood money. But Vincent killed you before you could confess.
If I'm dead, Elizabeth, it means Vincent discovered my plan. The recording device in this player has a backup drive hidden inside. Remove the back panel. That drive contains recordings of Vincent confessing to murder, planning new crimes, threatening my life. Elizabeth, you have a choice I never had. You can take this evidence to the FBI and destroy Vincent Morrison forever. But doing so will mean Alex goes to prison as an accessory. Sophia's journalism career will be ruined by association. Marcus will never be able to practice law.
What am I supposed to do, Richard? How can I choose between justice and our children's lives?
I can't make that choice for you, my love. But I can tell you this, Vincent Morrison will never stop. He'll use Alex to expand the criminal operations. He'll corrupt our family completely unless you stop him.